The two most powerful words that you'll ever hear is stop chasing. Sajni here, and welcome to another video. So today I want to talk about how we tend to put too much meaning onto something, and how our unconscious resistance is built when we put too much meaning onto something, and how we repel or detract things away from us. Subconsciously saying that the power isn't here, the power is here. We're giving away all our power, all our energy here, right? So that's why that thing, then you kind of then lose the power. You don't have the power to hold that thing that you want, right? So that's why it repels rather than holding or having that. So I'm going to talk about the unconscious resistance, and I'm going to talk about deeper layers of understanding quantum physics, because when I understood this theme, my whole reality started to shift. So we're going to get deeper into these aspects of law of attraction, quantum physics, metaphysical concepts, to understand why this happens. Why when you want something really, really bad, the more you want it, the more it gets repelled away. Okay? So let's get right to it. So the first thing that we want to understand is that nature works through the path of least resistance. What do I mean by that? When, for example, if you place a ball on top of a hill, the ball gains gravitational potential. Now the ball can be tilted any moment and roll downhill. So it is on the tip of a hill. Or another example I can give you is if you're walking on a tightrope across two tall buildings. What happens? There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of wanting you to take the right step. Otherwise you would, slip and fall. So there's a lot of resistance that builds in because it has gained an excess potential. So whenever we place too much importance and too much meaning on something, similar thing happens. What happens? A lot of resistance builds in, a lot of anxiety, a lot of overwhelm, or a lot of sometimes if it's too heightened, you have a lot of fear come in as well, a lot of fear build in as well. And these are natural emotions that build in. But sometimes what we do is we are able to then shift our focus. Okay, you are aware that now you are gaining some kind of emotional surge. So then you shift your focus to something else, right? But sometimes what happens is that you become the emotional resistance becomes so strong that when you try to shift your focus, you are not able to. And when that emotion comes up, emotion is nature, and emotion is something that you can't push away, because the more you try to push away, the more the resistance builds in. So that's another trap. So what do we do in those cases? How do we remove the unconscious resistance or the important? You might have come across, if you are a law of attraction or metaphysical student like me, you might have studied about, having a lot of desire and want and need to be able to have that, and not constantly thinking about it, and it'll attract to you. But those has a lot of holes in it, because on the surface layer, putting a conscious intention is something, it's only 5 to 10% of a task. But then once we place the intention, then we let go of it. The 95% of the task is just to let go and immerse in the process and embody that vision as already fulfilled, and already holding that vision of love, or if it's a partner, or if it's success, or whatever it is that you want to hold. That energy is what we are looking for. It's not the money or the person or the success is something external. So the first dynamics is, let's understand chasing or wanting or desiring. And here I'll put up the chart here. So if you see here, desire is in the lower vibrational scale. Okay, this chart is from the book Force versus Power by David R. Hawkins, and I refer this chart more often because this helps us calibrate our vibrations. And when we see why vibrations, because when we talk about only thought is on the surface level. We have to go deeper, which is the feeling, and then there are deeper beliefs, and then there is identity, and then there is awareness, right? Huge depth that we have to get into, and these are very subtle. That's why it's very important to first grasp these aspects of it to be able to understand it and internalize it. So here's the thing. So when I started to dive deeper into metaphysics, quantum physics, and started understanding the dynamic of chasing and wanting, these are lack energies. Chasing means that you're trying to chase, it's running away from you, right? So chasing is something that you want something, let's say for example you want a partner or you want a relationship, right? You're chasing that person, or you are giving so much importance to that person that your energy is outward, right? Your energy is not here, the energy is here. You're giving too much importance. So naturally that person or that thing that you are trying to achieve or attain has gained so much of importance that the energy here is a lack, and therefore the other person can feel that lack, can feel subconsciously, can feel that emptiness, and therefore gets more repelled away. And that is why if you see in any relationship dynamic, whether it is a celebrity and a fan, right? The celebrity has no awareness, right? But the fan has so much of awareness about or gives too much importance to the celebrity, and the dynamics is there, right? The attention, because the fan is seeking the attention. Giving too much of importance again is the key flaw here, right? That we have to be aware of, because that it happens subconsciously when we love somebody, when we give too much importance. Again, loving is different energy, but holding on to or getting too much dependence or too attached to things or people get that vibration of lower energy. So your key theme here is to be able to understand that the relationship with you is more important than your relationship with others. If your relationship with yourself, if you love yourself unconditionally, if you accept yourself unconditionally, if you feel you're worthy and deeply accept yourself and love yourself and honor yourself, then naturally that outflow happens with other relationship around you. I remember the days when I used to work in the corporate and sector, and I used to be chasing after things, right? The next promotion, the next raise, or the attention from your bosses or colleagues or whatever it is, or even in relationship for that matter, personally, wanting the attention from those relationship with the person and giving too much of meaning, and therefore it repelled further. So, and that used to create a lack dynamic. So here's the thing. So that's the first thing. So that is understanding that chasing or wanting or needing or lack is a vibration that you are resonating outside, or you are throwing out literally, that you are empty here and therefore you're giving away your power. So we need to understand that there's a very subtle dynamic here. Knowing your own worthiness, knowing your own power, and loving your own self, or respecting your own self, believing in your own self, and then that naturally radiates out. So it does not happen from outside. We feel that if the person loves me, then I will feel whole. If I get a partner, then I will feel worthy. If I get that success, then I will feel successful. If I have that money, then so we have to understand that the second thing that we fail to understand is whatever outside that we see is just a symbol. Those are just symbols or reflections of how you are treating yourself within. And this is a purely, if you can understand this, your whole life will shift. Okay, this is very, very powerful. Once I understood this whole dynamic started to shift. I placed no longer the importance outside, but when I started to honor myself, have peace within myself, have joy within myself, made myself feel worthy, valuable, then I was able to put value outside. Then I was able to give value outside to people. The dynamic, what we fail to do is basically trying to put too much of attention out, and therefore the power flows out. The power is no longer with you. The power is with something else. So anything that something happens, you get a heartbreak or something like that, then your whole world shatters, right? Something happens to the job that you hold very, very high importance to, then your whole world shatters, right? You don't achieve that success or that money or that something that you've been putting too much of importance to, then your whole world shatters. And here's the thing. Life or nature works through the path of least resistance. What do I mean by that? This concept is explained in the book Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland, a quantum physicist, very, very well. So if you read that, it's a very, very powerful read. Now in that book, it explains that whenever you put too much of meaning to something else outside, then a lot of resistance, inner resistance potential is created, which thereby prevents you, pushes you away from that goal. If you try to walk on a tightrope across two tall buildings, what happens? There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiousness that builds in, because you know that you have to be able to take the right foot forward or the right step the right way, because otherwise you will plunge into your death, right? So that is the whole idea. So understanding that nothing is that important, right? Things are important, people are important. It's good to achieve success, but it is not that important as your peace or internal state of being. So this drives me into the third paradigm, which is the highest paradigm of manifestation, which is the being state. Nothing or nobody outside holds the power but you. How you want to feel, how you want to hold the energy, you are already whole, you're already abundant. Not that once I get that partner, then I will feel whole. Once I get that success, then I will feel successful. Once I get that money, then I will feel, I have the money. But already feeling whole, and naturally that those things, the money, the success, the people, starts to flow within you because you are generating an energy of abundance. We live in an ecosystem, right, where when we generate abundance naturally and we get the give out value. Okay, if you're in a space of giving value and service and sharing your ideas, like me, you naturally are giving away your abundance energy because you feel a whole within, right? If you're not feeling abundant within, or if you're not feeling that you're worthy to be able to share value, then you will not be able to do that, right? So first is understanding that you, whatever service that you provide, for example, or you are a service provider, or you have some products that you give, right? You're thinking yourself that your product or service or whatever value that you provide is going to be helpful, or is going to make an impact, right? And therefore, when you get from that space of wholeness, of feeling value, of feeling worthy of doing that, then that is going to be, helpful. But in the first place, if you're not feeling worthy itself, then why would anybody want to listen to you? Why would anybody want to buy your service or buy your products, right? So it's gonna literally fail. How you treat yourself is unconsciously how you're treating others, right? Because if you're not valuing your own self, you're not valuing your own relationship with yourself, if you don't love yourself enough, if you don't give importance to your own self first, the importance that you're projecting out is just a lack that you project, and other people or the things outside can unconsciously understand that, and therefore you are kind of like drawing in that energy out, and therefore those people or circumstances, situations start to repel further away, right? So how about we shift the dynamic and state that my relationship with myself is what makes me whole, right? My relationship with me, if I love myself, right, then naturally, if I'm whole, then naturally that love automatically radiates outside, and the other people around you start to feel that energy, and naturally they get drawn into you, right? If you feel successful already, if you feel that you don't need anything outside of you, so you are just not in a needy state, you're just in your own state, you're whatever happens, I'm free, I'm already alive, I'm happy, I'm grateful. So if you are in that abundant state, naturally then things starts to get pulled towards you, then things start to attract to you naturally. You don't have to try too hard to be able to woo somebody or to be able to attract that thing or those things. Things start to happen for you, right? So we need to be able to hold that energy, and this is something that I learned the very, very hard way. This is something that I felt that you need to be able to impress or please or get that validation, or giving too much of out, giving all your energy and power outside, and you're feeling that lack, and that's why I used to feel the drain of energy and never getting fulfilled. And that is the whole idea. So the first thing to do is to be able to change the dynamic. How about feeling successful already, right? How about, so that is the whole idea. And quantum physics and metaphysical concepts clearly states that everything here is energy. 99.9% is all energy. It's just matter is just 0.0001%, right? But we kind of like look at external reality, and we just look at what is there, and we feed into that, and we believe in that more than what is our internal invisible energies, because those energies are actually what manifests, right? So if you're able to tap into that energy of success, of abundance, of already having what you want to achieve, then naturally things flow and effortless state. So this is one of the most powerful things that I learned, and has completely shifted my state of being. So that's why the three paradigms of manifestation is the being, the doing, and the having or the wanting. So most of us, get stuck at the third level, which is the wanting. We want something, we want to have something, which is great. We start with resistance, that I don't have that fit body, so I want to have that fit body, or I'm lonely, so I need a partner, which is okay. The first state is desiring, which is 5 to 10%. But the idea is then move up the scale. We shift the gear and we get into the being state, which is basically understanding that if I embody that, if I become the version and show up myself as that version of myself, which has already got that success, which is already feeling fulfilled, which has already got that worthiness, then naturally you start to act that way, because doing is action. Then naturally your action falls into place with that level, and then your having naturally follows. So that is a cycle that we have to start ingraining ourselves, and not the other way around, wanting and then wanting to have, and then we try to take action, but the being never follows because we are not able to embody. And that's why people who crack lotteries and who win lotteries or who get overnight success, they sabotage that immediately, because holding that energy of abundance is the most powerful paradigm of manifestation, rather than wanting that abundance energy, right? Because it's one thing to attract something, is one thing to get something, is one thing to attract, and one thing to hold that energy, because that is the first step, right? So what we do is we hold that energy, rather than saying that, okay, that is something is outside of me that will make me complete. The wholeness is already here. You already are whole. You already are complete. You already are worthy. You already are, loving. You already are graceful. You already are successful. You already are wealthy. So from that state of being, then once you start to channel your doing, your actions, once you get from that level, is then when you start, getting ideas, doing things. Then people will start to channel your energy, start to see your vibration. Things start to automatically start to happen, and that's exactly what I adopted as well in my life, and that's why I place that in my programs as well. Here is, don't focus on having the relationship, money, or success. Focus on raising your vibration. Focus on embodying that version. Focus on being that embodiment of what you want to gain, right? So this is the key, because whenever you have something, you are saying that I lack something, or I want something, you're saying I lack that, and therefore the more you lack, the more lack energy you draw in. When you start chasing something, the more it starts to repel away from you, because subconsciously the other person can feel that lack from you. So you are generating that lack, right? But if you're feeling that I'm already abundant, I'm already, no matter what state I am in, I accept myself, the state I am in. So this brings me up to the chart here. So this is being, in an acceptance state, in a willingness state, and therefore focusing on raising a vibration, being on a joyous state, being on a peaceful state, being of gratitude of what you have currently. So that is exactly then, if you are happy doing what you do today, you'll be happy what you do tomorrow. So naturally the universe will start rewarding you for what you're doing currently, or accepting who you are today. So I sincerely hope this was helpful. So if you're new to the channel, do not forget to hit like, do comment something if you have any comments to leave, and do not forget to hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon. If you're someone who benefits from this and resonates with this, and if you want to book a discovery call or a one-to-one consultation, the links are in my bio in my Instagram and in the link below. Okay, so until next time, peace and namaste.